Welcome to the Daily Exchange, where we're talking about Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin. We're going up, up, up. Just got back from Korea, guys. We've been hanging out with Brock Pierce. We've got some interviews about that. Augur selling murder and a bit of FOMO 3D live Ponzi schemes coming at you guys. We'll see you right after this. Welcome back, guys. Guys, we're going up. It's good to be back. Bitcoin's back. Everyone's back, back, back. It's awesome. In trading trends, let's talk about trading trends. We've had a 7-month bear market, and I think we are going up. That's awesome. Obviously, over the weekend, we cracked back over 300 bill, that is, adding an extra 300 billion to our market. Mike Novogratz has softened his prediction ever so slightly that obviously the whole market might end up at around 800 billion by the end of the year, but he still thinks the market could get there in 12 months' time. Let's talk about Bitcoin right now. We've gone from 6,700 to over 8 grand in a week. We even touched 8,560. We just had to check out the graph on Bitcoin here. You can see, guys, there was some real all-time highs up here. We're trading back around 8,211, which is really, really cool. Bitcoin's obviously been a major driver, but it's got this vortex going on right now where it's just rallying and the market ain't following. I call it the Bitcoin vortex, where it sucks up all the money out of the market and everyone piles into Bitcoin again. And normally after that, you probably will see an alt run. So the all other coins will probably head back up soon. But the thing about it is, it's great news that Bitcoin's moving, and never really seen this kind of move, particularly given that there are some very interesting futures markets that are playing against this. On the 27th of July, the CME contract does expire, and this time we're seeing the alternative movement on the way up, which is really interesting and kind of disrupts that whole idea that potentially the futures market is driving all the coins down. Really interesting stuff. Potentially, the market cap, obviously, of Bitcoin is still 46.9%, so it's a huge percentage of the cryptocurrency market, which is really, really interesting. On the 24th of July, BitMEX did 1 million Bitcoins. 1 million Bitcoins traded on BitMEX. That's an all-time new record. Great signs for the entire market and just shows the strength and volatility and the amount of people that are getting involved with this. Really good stuff. There's obviously a lot of people still speculating that Bitcoin will get above $20,000 and Ethereum above $1,500. Co-founder of Reddit and BC firm Instalize Capital, Alexis Ohanian, is still super bullish. I love it. Go, Alexis. Matty Greenspan, the senior market analyst at eToro, he thinks potentially that we are on the cusp of the biggest bull market we have ever seen. That's awesome. This is going to be fun. This is really fun. It's a really fun game. Joel, you want to bring up that tweet about Bitcoin? There's some serious stuff. CZ, are you on the bus? Woo! We're on the bus, baby. Come on! Welcome back. $8,000 Bitcoin. We might just be on the cusp of the largest Bitcoin bull run in history. Matty Greenspan from eToro there. Lots of likes, lots of retweets. CZ, good to see you back in action on the bus. Are you on the bus? I'm on the bus. All right, item number 2. Let's move on. Futures. Futures have been really interesting right now. We've had record volumes of futures right now. And I think the big thing that's really moving this market, you know, obviously we saw above 8,500, is this SEC with its ETF approvals. It's just got to happen. Come on, ETFs. SEC has just got everyone coming at them, right? Everyone's coming at them. Insiders are reporting this time that there is the most optimistic chance that the ETF of Bitcoin will get approved. There is another one by Bitwise Asset Management, which is a basket of 10 cryptocurrencies, which is also very close to getting approved. The big one is the third attempt. The third attempt of Bitcoin is the third attempt of the ETF by the CBOE, SolidX, and Van Eck to get approval. They've done it 3 times. This is the third attempt. SEC, come on, baby. Come on. For the love of Bitcoin, for the love of humanity, money, cryptocurrency, everyone's survival, wealth in the entire nation of this earth. SEC, give us that BTF, baby. There's also another one. There are 5 rulings as well by Direxion have proposed in September. And there is also news coming out in October by the G20, which is purportedly going to give us a lot of regulation clarity around cryptocurrencies and the market. So some incredible stuff coming up right now. Really, really exciting time. This ETF is really driving this Bitcoin price up, and it's good to see. We have seen some recent movements. We want to check out some coins with us. Where are we at, Joel? We've got Bitcoin currently trading at 8,234, slightly down 1.4%. Sorry, 8,200, my apologies. Ethereum at $476, EOS at $8.55, Bitcoin Cash at $841, Litecoin at $86. Ethereum Classic, go Ethereum Classic, $16.66. Joel, I should do something about this Ethereum Classic situation. I don't understand. Can someone out there tell me what is Ethereum Classic? What is going on? We're going to talk about, coming up in the show, guys, we're also going to talk about these new Ponzi schemes on Ethereum, and could they be the death of Ethereum? We'll find out very soon. Ripple at 46 cents, Stellar at 34 cents. What else we got? Where's the little Binance coin? Trading at $13 again. It was down quite a bit. Back up. Tron at 3.7 cents. Cardano at 17 cents. That's what we're trading at. Let's talk about Ethereum right now. Ethereum did touch 510 US dollars. It's been up and down. It has pulled back, obviously, around that $476 mark. But it is a really good sign. FX Street paints a very optimistic picture, potentially saying that there is resistance at 520 to 500. If it breaks above the $520 mark, it probably will hit the $620 mark. That's some serious Ethereum movements. Joel, are you as bullish about Ethereum as I am as bullish about Ethereum?
Yes.
I don't. You are a little bit, aren't you, Joel?
Yeah.
Joel, are you a closet Ethereum supporter?
No comment.
Let's look at the graph, guys, at the overall market as well. You can see what's up, what's down. Bitcoin a bit red, Ethereum a bit red, EOS red, Ripple up a little bit. Stellar up 13%. IOTA down a little bit. Tether, somehow it's moving past $1. No idea how that's happening, but somehow it is. NEO up a little bit. Let's just change this graph to some of the biggest winners, top gainers, and top losers right now. Stellar absolutely crushing it, 13% up. Steam, the old Dan Larimer special, up 8.3%. Stripe up 10%. ARK 11%. Some interesting movements here. NPXS. What is NPXS? Joel, can you give us a read? If anyone out there knows what NPXS is, I would love to know. Love to know. NPXS. Dear NPXS, who are you? Where have you been? It's good to see you. Moving on. Ripple. Now, there's some interesting stuff with Ripple. They sold, apparently, XRP. My apologies. Delete all that if you can, guys. I didn't say Ripple then. I said XRP. I can't say Ripple anymore. Wait. XRP trading at 46 cents because XRP's got nothing to do with Ripple. Nothing at all. Tough one for me to talk about. Anyway, XRP during the second quarter sold less than half the amount they sold the quarter before. They're not selling as much of their own stuff anymore, which is really interesting. Mr. Mike Arrington's XRP fund has now purportedly got more Bitcoin than it does XRP. He revealed that actually at Korea Blockchain Week, which is really cool. Stellar Lumens is up 12%, as we said, to 33 cents. that it was obviously potential that Coinbase was going to list Stellar. Now that would be a big deal because they were like XRP, not Ripple, trying to really were trying to get on Coinbase, and if they list Stellar, I think that could be quite aggressive. I like to call them Huobi, but I've discovered that actually the correct pronunciation is Huobi. 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 Tough one for me. Joel, how do you feel about Huobi as a name? Does anyone else feel about Huobi as kind of weird? Is it just me? I'm going to call it Huobi. That's my Australian heritage coming out, but I love, I'm just going to, too bad. Huobi. Huobi Global announced that it will be trading Stellar from the 26th of July. 26th of July, Stellar on Huobi, aka Huobi. Right, moving on. Let's talk about Augur, the predictions market. We were talking about that a while ago, and it's going bonkers. There are assassinations popping up. There are murders are popping up in terms of people betting on. There are no actual current bets on this assassination right now. Obviously, there were a lot of predictions around the World Cup and sporting events, and there was obviously a lot of different predictions right now on different cryptocurrency prices. Really interesting and incredibly being used for what it's supposed to be used for, and I love that this exists. This is a killer use case of blockchain. Creating predictions markets for all sorts of things that aren't and have not been accessible to the everyday person. In other words, what this is doing is commoditizing futures. It takes the cold, hard hand, dead hand of the CME and other futures markets and opens it up and commoditizes the ability for everyday people to be able to create futures markets and predictions. I think it's incredible. I want to talk about, obviously Augur has been live for only 3 weeks, and obviously people are making predictions, so I think it's a really one to look at, interesting to look at. Their price recently did tank quite a bit, unfortunately. We'll just check that out. Poor little Augur. It was really cranking because it's up to $30 again, but it was trading really quite up there, and it's pulled back quite a bit. Was up to $40, back down to $30. That's a pretty heavy move, but it's really interesting to see that people are using it. Now, let's talk about Ponzi schemes, open source Ponzi schemes, real life Ponzi schemes that everyone knows is a Ponzi scheme. There's a website, exitscam.me. Definitely a Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme. It has $11 million inside it. 11 if someone wins. FOMO 3D and POW 3D were created by a team, basically as a concept. It was actually created 4 months ago, and $72 million of Ethereum has gone in, and about like an absolute monster about that has been paid out in dividends, but it's about $11 million of Ethereum to be won. The way it works is there is a timer. If someone buys a key, it adds 30 seconds to the timer. If the timer runs out and you're holding the last key, you get the entire pot. $11 million. Now this timer still keeps staying up. Its max is 24 hours. It just keeps bumping up to 24 hours. No one's gonna let anyone have the last key. People who basically buy a key from someone else's link gets paid a dividend. In other words, a big pyramid. It's a giant Ponzi scheme. But they're open about it. It's called exitscam.me. It's a fact. It's a Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme. Real life Ponzi scheme. But there's no ifs or buts about what it is. The thing about it is, the question you've got to ask yourself is, when does it end? When does the last key get purchased? Is this going to eat up all of Ethereum? Is it worthwhile when the pot gets so big that you would buy, a absolute $1 billion of Ethereum to buy the last key? That trade could potentially be out there. And it's building and building and building and building right now. You look at the Etherscan address of these apps, it is just flying. It's non-stop. It doesn't end. Apparently, it's about 40% of the Ethereum's network traffic right now, which is massive. And it's traded over 31,000 in Ether so far. And just keeps growing. Now the question you got to ask yourself is, when's this going to end? And is this a cancer upon protocols that exist out there? Does it suck up all of the cryptocurrency in its space because the last person with the last key wins? Maybe. Could be. Miners could potentially block certain transactions and obviously hack the system. There is the potential for that. Due to its random number generation and how that scheme works. I won't get into the detail, but it is possible. And there's all sorts of different speculation of what happens at the end of this. What is your view of where this ends? Where does FOMO 3D end? Who's going to win? Will that be the Guinness Book of Ponzi schemes? That'd be really, really interesting. Send us your tweets. Send us your questions. Send us your speculations, contemplations, derivations. It's one of those things, really, isn't it? Moving on. Coinbase giving out gift cards in Australia and Europe. They're giving out gift cards so that customers can buy stuff. Genius. Genius. I love it. Partnering with WeGift fintech outfit, Coinbase, customers can go to 120 different retailers, including Uber, Amazon, and others. And there are 0 swap fees. And obviously with an average bonus of 5% in gift cards. Imagine if you bought heaps and heaps of gift cards with Bitcoin and it was just sitting there. Maybe people should gift each other Bitcoin. That'd be kind of cool. But imagine if you had heaps and then you converted it back to fiat. That'd be really, really interesting. We did the same thing actually when Finder had its Bitcoin treasure hunt on the website. We have a whole lot of coins and people we sent them out to. I wonder if they converted their Bitcoin into fiat currency or if it's sitting still in those little coins. The question is, would you rather hold your coins or use them to pay for Uber? Well, right now, I think you'd probably want to hold the coins. It seems like a lot of really good news, but that's not financial advice, is it, Joel? No, that's not financial advice. This is not financial advice. These are just opinions, speculations. This is just me reading randomly from a piece of paper and coming live to you from the internet. This has nothing to do with what you should do about your finance. We are not talking about anything to do with things that you should do with your cryptocurrency. But please, please, if you do want to learn more about cryptocurrency, guys, go to finder.com and read the guides by Andrew. He's been writing some absolute rippers, absolute clockers. There's a real interesting one I want to bring up, which is about the efficient frontier of money and Finder and cryptocurrency, written by, it's the mathematical case, this one. Could you post this article, Joel, for everyone to read? It's the mathematical case of cryptocurrency. And what it basically states is that the efficient frontier is a diversified portfolio. And Andrew, which you guys seen on the show recently, came on and he's written up about it, an incredible guide. It's backed up by research by Grayscale. And what it essentially says is that if you add cryptocurrency to your portfolio, you will actually perform better as a diversified portfolio. I'm just going to show it to you in graph form. You can see here with cryptocurrency and without, and the total returns that you probably would have seen. And the reason for that is all sorts of mathematics and information, which unfortunately, it's very, very complicated you can get into. But for all those people who are actually decision makers out there, please share this article with them. The people who control funds, make fund decisions, people who are quants, those kind of things. Send this article to them and ask them to break it. I dare you. I double dare you. In fact, I cryptocurrency FOMO 3D you. All right, let's move on. Gift cards. We're trading at prices, Joel. What's your feeling right now? Today feels like a little bit like one of those days where like there've been lots of movements and we're like coming back and it's sort of a bit volatile. Things are moving around, dancing around. 8,224. We're moving like 20 bucks here and there. Ethereum 476, EOS $8.55. Geez, that thing's not moving. Bitcoin Cash at 8.39, Litecoin 86 bucks. Ethereum Classic down 2 cents at $16.63. Ripple now 46 cents. There's Stellar Lumens now at 33 cents, almost clocking into 34. And we've got the Litecoin futures coming in at $89.49. People are pretty bullish around that. Binance Coin at $13.03. Let's talk about South Korea, guys. I've just come back from South Korea. I'm a changed man. Cryptocurrency is everywhere. South Korea Blockchain Week, as I mentioned, I am back from, and news broke there potentially Binance are launching in Korea. That would be massive. I met with a few exchanges, and I can't tell you exactly the names of them because it's fairly confidential, but there are some major Korean exchanges coming to Australia. You heard it first right here. Major Korean exchanges opening in Australia. Yes, they are moving around the world. They're launching in Thailand, Hong Kong as well. They're moving all around the place. Korean exchanges are globalizing, and I think they are going to be the dominant exchanges around the world. Apart from Binance, obviously, would be a great competitor, but I think the Korean exchanges are really moving. Huobi, obviously, Huobi. Anyway, have onboarded the Australian fiat currency, Australian dollars, and that is actually, Australia is the only place where you can actually put fiat currency into Huobi, aka Huobi. We met Roger Ver there, Bitcoin Cash. He's a good guy. My mate, Rogie. Good guy, you know. I actually like Roger Ver. I don't know, he's just like a real pioneer. He went to jail for a while actually selling explosives on eBay. That's pretty crazy. But he did create Bitcoin Cash. And what the hell is Bitcoin Cash? I am not sure. We'll see what happens in the future there. I was a guest judge on Crypto Shark Tank as well. Now, let me tell you now, I was an absolute, let's just say, I was the harshest judge you've ever seen. Because I just think a lot of projects are going to zero. I actually think I said it a few times to some of the founders, and I feel bad about that. But not really. I think one of them actually kind of cried when I told them their project's going to zero. Is that bad? I think it saves people money. Joel, what do you think? Guys, let me tell you now, there's a major interview that I did. And let's give you a preview, Joel. Let me just say, this was the most inspiring, most intense interview I've ever done in my life. My heart was pounding out of my chest. It was incredible. Let's give you a sneak preview, Joel. My apologies. My apologies. I believe we have something to talk about. Just before that is a little preview of the Crypto Shark Tank before I'm telling you about this next interview. Joel's correcting me there.
Hi, we're here in South Korea, behind the scenes at Crypto Shark Tank. Just checking it out. We're going to be judging some ICOs. It's pretty crazy.
What are you looking for?
Looking for long-term projects, some good tokenomics. Probably going to give some people some hard times. It'll be pretty fun.
The world is being turned upside down by a brand new form of technology, blockchain. Meet a daring new set of crypto projects that are using this tech and the experts that will see if they've got what it takes. This is Crypto Shark Tank.
Welcome back, guys. That was Crypto Shark Tank. Now, let me tell you about this interview we've got coming up tomorrow. Big interview, big reveal, and we're going to give you a little sneak preview today. Just a little taster, little tester, like a little bump, little. Guys, it's Brock Pierce, builder, farmer, philanthropist. He is the chairman of the Bitcoin Foundation. He is one of the original investors in Ethereum. He is the co-founder of DNA Crypto Venture Fund. And it is about a 40-minute interview. It's a long interview, guys, but it goes all the way. Let me tell you some of the things we talk about. Security tokens, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum Classic, the challenges faced by Bitcoin, Everipedia and Hashgraph. Everipedia is the first big coin to list on Bitfinex that can be traded. It is an EOS token and it's currently trading on Bitfinex. Right now you can buy Everipedia, which will be similar to Wikipedia. We talk about that. How DNA Fund got started, the value of experience and not compromising integrity, bringing change to the unbanked in the Philippines, fostering engineering and talent in Puerto Rico, split testing diets and balancing a hectic schedule. Let me tell you now, the Brock's diet is out of control. Concept of compounding impact and making a difference in the world, and lots more. Crazy interview, literally next level. Loved it. Remember to come back tomorrow, guys. And check this out. We're going to give you, obviously, an excerpt of this chat with Brock. Cautions against getting involved in any project you don't fully understand. We're going to give you this reveal in a second. But let me just tell you now, guys, do subscribe, do log in, do join us on Twitter. Come and meet us tomorrow, because tomorrow we're giving you the Brock Pierce interview. Now, from the entire team here, from Joel, who works behind the scenes here on the camera, giving you this great work and all those prices and screens, and Danny, who puts together all this amazing news. Thank you, Danny. He's our man. He makes me look 8 times better. There wouldn't be the Daily Exchange without Danny. It's just a fact. I'm Fred Chibesta, obviously, and thanks for watching, guys. And here is Brock Pierce coming at you live from Korea.
I often tell people, if you don't understand what someone is proposing that you do in this space, you shouldn't be doing it. If you don't understand it, you shouldn't do it. And as long as you understand everything you do, you're not going to get ripped off. You know, you'll avoid most of the scams. It's when people start talking to you in jargon you can't understand. Yeah. That, you know, either they don't know how to explain things very well, or they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes.
Yeah. Well, they probably haven't figured it out themselves.
Yes, but that's exactly
done enough thinking.
They haven't done enough thinking to refine it in a way where they can communicate it well or thoughtfully. And sometimes some people just, that's not their skill. And then what they need to do is go find someone where that is their skill. You know, someone that knows how to take complex ideas and present them simply and thoughtfully.
I'm just going to unpack that a bit, because I think what you're saying is you tell stories well.
Well, communication.
But I think it's a little bit more than that. It sounds to me like you take an idea and then boil it down further until it can be told, almost. And it's that process as well, potentially. Is that part of your superpower? Do you find yourself coming in and providing that?
That's what I do for most everybody I work with,
That trigger moment.
Is I help people refine the story in a way where it will resonate with people, which is kind of one of the most important things if you're trying to launch something, you know, because you could be building the greatest thing ever, but if people don't understand what you're building, you know, it's not going to resonate with them in a way where you're going to get their attention. You're not going to get their engagement. They're not going to connect with what it is that you're doing. And so obviously the other thing I do a great deal of is, I've been in the space a long time, know obviously a lot of people in the space, and have a fairly good memory, and so I'm a very active connector of connecting people that need to meet. And if you hang out for a few minutes, you'll see how it's just never-ending weaving or connecting of dots.
That's cool. I guess with every, person like yourself, like you're quite a visionary, and obviously, being that storyteller, but having those defining moments, you'd have weaknesses as well. And obviously,
of course, we all have lots of them.
Yeah, but I'm assuming you'd have people around you as well. Who are the people that you tend to hire that you keep closest to you?
I mean, you also have to work with what you got. And so, it depends on what the project is. From a personal perspective, the most important thing, in terms of the team that I surround myself with, and the ethos that I try to communicate is being critical. And obviously not everybody is where they need to be in life. And you need to understand that and be patient with people, and give them the time or the grace that they need to grow. We're all growing. We're all still here learning, sharing with each other. But integrity. Don't ever compromise your integrity, especially where we're going now. The world is going to become less forgiving, and that's what you're seeing right now. Is the weak hands in the space that are being washed out because of their integrity issues. It's not because they were early and didn't keep up or this or that, or normally what happened is they got greedy, saw the economic opportunities, and started making moral compromises, to make another buck. They're being too coin operated. That's obviously a key part. I value experience, to the extent people have it. You don't have to have done things 100 times to be good at something, but it's nice when someone has proven, their abilities. But that doesn't mean you don't give opportunities to those that haven't. But
what are the jewels that you look for in a person? What's like that person you go? Yeah.
Well, again, there's not a specific thing. It's like entrepreneurs. They come in all shapes, sizes, genders, skills. Some are quiet, some are introverts, some are extroverts. I guess what you're looking for is a fire. Yeah. You're looking for a spark. Yeah. You're looking for something where, and also most importantly, that you can work well together. I mean, it's ultimately you have to have that chemistry. Yeah. Not everybody is gonna, we're not all gonna work well with everyone. Not everyone's gonna like you, no matter how hard you try, right? But yeah, you're looking for chemistry. You're looking for integrity. You're looking. It's basic stuff. Capability. Do they say talk or chalk is cheap? Yeah. Do they get their shit done?
Yeah.
GSD.